Hello everyone! Welcome to my new Spellbound RimWorld series, where I embrace the medieval, magical, and whimsical side of the Rim. This new series is entitled Dryads Regrown. It is technically a retelling of my previous Dryad series that ended tragically due to a mod conflict and a broken save file. But if you haven't seen that series, you are in luck. I am treating this as a brand new story. In Dryads Regrown, we are starting with our OG Dryads, Lilaca, Saffron, and Willow. The three come from a background of turmoil after their previously peaceful, green, and verdant planet split in two and spiraled into the void, killing everyone. They have awoken on the Rim with no memories on how they got here, but with one shared goal. They will spread their Dryadic seeds throughout the planet and regrow their population. So, all corpses will be turned into Corpse Revenants that will aid in our army to take over the settlements on our new planet. All non-Dryadic colonies will be razed to the ground, and we will attempt to capture and enslave any downed enemies. Only a select chosen few may be recruited to join our army. The others will be put to work in the mines, and when the time is right, we will harvest their organs to create new Dryads. I am using the same mods as the Dryad Druid series, so if you're interested, you can check out the first episode of that to see the highlights. A link to the Steam collection is also in the description of this video. Some major changes do include removing the royalty DLC. It wasn't actually doing anything for us since the Empire doesn't spawn with a medieval-only playthrough, and I feel like it was doing more harm than good, maybe. I replaced medieval times with early times. This mod has everything Medieval Times has, but is supposedly updated for compatibility more often. I removed Medieval Vanilla because it was redundant with the other medieval mods, and removing this got rid of the errors I was getting at launch, so that's always nice. I also removed a ton of faction mods, which may have been the culprit for my last crash. I have added the Vanilla Factions Expanded Medieval mod, which will give us a more medieval-themed storyteller. Ignore this error. Everyone is getting it right now, apparently. It's supposedly harmless. I added the My Little Planet mod, so by spawning on a tiny planet, we can realistically take over the entire Rim. And finally, I also added the prison labor mod, so our prisoners can be forced to work in the mines. This still is a little bit buggy right now since it was just updated, but I'm thinking it will be updated over time as we play, and it should be fine to turn on now. Alright, so let's get started. The scenario we're going to choose is the Dryad start from the Dryad mod. But I have changed it just a little bit so that we are starting with 3 people instead of 1. Our storyteller is going to be Maynard Medieval on medium. Maynard creates more medieval themed events for us, which should be nice. And we are going to select reload anytime, just in case. We want a tiny planet size with high rainfall. And I am going to randomize the seed until we get a world with a river and hills. And of course, we are going to start with our original Dryads. Our 3 Dryads are still mostly the same. Lilaca, I think, didn't change too much. Willow, I didn't change too much except by giving her some passions in art and animals, I believe, just because she is a Dryad. Saffron, meanwhile, I changed quite a bit. So before, if you remember, she was a ranger with the RimWorld of Magic mod. But I realized that ranger conflicted with builder quite a bit. So you can see builder here. It says tame animal chance minus 40%, which is pretty significant. So it was kind of a poor decision on my part to make her my constructor and my animal tamer, when apparently they aren't supposed to go together. So I switched her over from Ranger to Geomancer because I thought Geomancer was also pretty Dryadic. It worked, and now she can be our miner. And then I also changed her adulthood to Geologist just to complement her new Geomancer class. Our equipment is the same, except I figured out how to add wood. Yay! Thank you, commenter, for pointing out that wood is actually a weapon. So it is in the weapons section of this drop down here. I did decide to keep our female Arctic fox, even though I was getting a little annoyed at Pepe last series. We'll see if she behaves this time, although I'm not quite sure if the game will still name her Pepe. We'll see. Maybe we can just rename her if that's the case. I've also decided to give them 3 wooden short bows. Now in the last season I got rid of this weapon because Prepare Carefully sometimes gives them equipment already in their inventory, and it didn't make sense for them to have random equipment plus some short bows, so I got rid of it. But what I realized was if I use the map reroll mod, it kind of resets everything, and so their inventory is going to be empty except for the equipment that's listed here. So I think that's what we're going to do. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, I have found our starting map. If you would like to replicate it, the seed is bow, and we are right in the middle of our tiny planet here. This is going to be very convenient for when we go out and start destroying all of these little colonies here, especially since we're so close to the road, and the road actually connects almost all of these colonies. So this is going to be really good. Now, I did use map reroll, and I chose this map totally randomly. I think it was on the 2nd page, maybe the 3rd page of the map reroll. And the reason I did that was so that our colonists here don't start with anything totally random in their inventory. It sort of reset them. And I don't think that this map is any more overpowered than another map. I picked it because it had a lot of greenery for our Dryads, a lot of space despite it being a mountainous map, and I liked having the river going right through the middle of the map so we can enjoy that scenery. I also went ahead and planned out the entire base. This is just what I like to do. I like having a goal, and I like having a plan in mind for whenever I add new buildings. So here is going to be our kill box, although it's not really much of a kill box. I'm working with this river here. I'm using it to our advantage at least a little bit so that maybe raiders can be slowed as they come in through here. And this will be made out of embrasures, and we'll shoot them as they're coming up. Now they're only going to be slowed a tiny bit before they get a walk speed of 85% up here, but that's fine. I'm hoping to build a really thick wooden wall here so they can't come in through this way. And then I'm going to pray that no raiders spawn in this area. And because this is a medieval run, I did add a little tower here. It's going to be made out of embrasures, so we'll have to use our imaginations that this is indeed a tower. And it's just going to act as a sort of preemptive defense if there are any raiders up here. This room is going to be our hospital, just because it's so close to the top of the kill box. If anyone gets injured, they can go straight here and get patched up. And we can always make this bigger if we need to. This room is going to be a stockpile room just for weapons and apparel. That way we can gear up here and then get drafted to our positions really close by. This room underneath it is going to be our greenhouse for the winter. I'm going to use the steam geyser to heat up this whole room, and then I'm going to use these skylights to let the sun in and hopefully get some plants growing in here when we otherwise couldn't in the winter. Next to that is our miscellaneous stockpile room, surrounded by our blacksmith building, our tailoring building, and then this building here is going to be our library, so like a research table, our basic manager's desk, and our magic production room will go in here. And then here I have where I'm planning to put our Dryadic production tables. So these guys here, they need to be placed directly on the earth, and these buildings are going to be floored eventually. But this room I'll keep unfloored so that we can put the production spots in here and maybe not even wall it up. Maybe we'll just use like fences or something. Next we have our dining room here next to our farm, which is connected to our kitchen, our butcher area, and then an airlock into the fridge, which isn't really going to be much of a fridge in the medieval times, but we'll work with it, we'll figure it out. And then this area here is where we're going to keep our prisoners. So this room is a teeny tiny little prison for them that they will eventually mine out themselves to make it a little bigger. And then this room is where we're going to put our quarry, and we'll send the prisoners either to mine in the quarry here or to mine into this mountain. And then this room is just going to be for the quarry's platform, with some extra room to walk around. And then finally, here is where I will build all of their little houses that they'll live in. Supposedly, Dryads don't actually need houses. In fact, they like sleeping on the ground and they like sleeping outside. And a commenter said that all you need to do is plant some flowers and then give them the Dryad resting rune here. And this is going to act as their bed. So that's really cool. We'll figure that out later, but for now, we can just put some sleeping spots on the ground and they will be pretty happy about it. Even just sleeping outside. Let's do that, and then let's go ahead and set up a recreation variety before I forget. Now, unfortunately, I am a little bit lost here using early times instead of medieval times. I don't have my medieval section here, so I don't have the Hoopstone either. I actually wonder if it's in our research here. Hoopstone. Tribal Essentials has Hoopstone apparently. And then Basic Games. Oh, here it is. It's under Basic Games. So we would have to research Basic Games just to put a recreation variety. So how about we just put this archery target instead? I'll go ahead and I'll put it here right by where they're sleeping. What I would like to do is wall in and get a roof over our fridge here. Now this building is kind of messing up my plan a little bit, but because it's not the end of the world, we'll work with it. So let's go to Classic Furniture. This is Gloomy's Furniture mod, and just wall it in real quick, I suppose. Yeah, I'm going to ignore this building and just build right through it. Not a problem. And we need a door here. And a door eventually to the kitchen, but that will go in the airlock, and then a door eventually to the butcher room. I might as well just put it right here in the middle, I suppose. Once they're done with this, they'll roof this in, but this is way too big for a roof here. What is this size? It is 20 by 14. Yeah, that's way too big. So if this is 14, one side needs to be 11 or 12. Let's go with 12. And that will keep it from collapsing inward. And then I'll go ahead and remove this plan here. Eventually we can make it bigger and we can add these columns to keep the roof up. But for now, we'll just keep it a little smaller and build it in like that. That should work. I'll also set up our stockpile here. This is called fridge. Clear all. We just want foods, medicine, drugs, plant matter, and ice blocks. And then over here is going to be our miscellaneous stockpile. Fill that in and set it to allow all, but not ice blocks, and not food, not plant matter, not medicine, drugs, at least for now. And then I'm going to allow all. Let's set up their weapons. So Lilaca, equip this. Saffron, equip this. And Willow, equip this. And then when you're done, I want you to equip this knife as a sidearm for all of you. Okay. And I am getting a notification that the colonists are missing their sidearms. And this, yeah, this is what I feared. So this was all of the items that Prepare Carefully gave them. So this beer, this wood, this pila, and I believe this great bow. And what about you, Saffron? Yeah, you had a bunch of stuff too. All right, fixed. Okay, and then we also need to get started on their work orders. Everyone firefights, patience. Who's my best doctor here? Lilaca. I'll set you both to doctoring. I think you're actually the same. 5 and 6. Okay. Everyone bed rest, halls, basic, rearm, refuel. Magic isn't entirely relevant right now, but I'll set it to 1 for these 2 anyway. Looks like Lilaca is going to be my warden and jailer, but I'll set Willow as warden and jailer as well. Now for handling, I do believe that druids get a, yes, animal gather yield plus 20%. So I'm going to want Lilaca to be my only handler. But I think anyone can train. I think whoever wants to train can do so. So I'll set these guys to 2. Oh, but not Saffron, that's right, because Saffron is a builder and that has a minus 40% chance to tame. I gotta remember that. Then for butcher and cook, about everyone does that. I'm setting way too many people to 1 right now, but I'll revise it when I need to, I guess. Brewing, that's for later, but I'll set everyone up there. Saffron, you're gonna be my main hunter, and you guys can be like my off hunters. Hunter lacks ranged weapon. Willow, take out your ranged weapon then. Okay, good, safe. Let's see. Fish, who cares? Everyone can fish. I'll put you all at a 3. Saffron is definitely my builder here, but Lilaca can be my backup builder. Harvesting. I do believe that's the druid again. So druid has a plant harvest yield of plus 25%. So I only want Lilaca to harvest. Don't want anyone else touching my plants. But they can grow if they want to. That's not a problem. And then mining is going to be all for Saffron. She's the only one good at it. Plant cutting, I think everyone should be set to plant cut because that's when I queue up for wood. Whenever I need some wood, that's plant cutting. And so it'd be nice if everyone got to that. Drugs, fabrication, machining, I'm going to turn these off for now. Smithing, tailoring, art, I'm going to keep as it is until I queue up whatever needs to be done there. Refining, smelting, I'll do the same. Stone cutting is going to be at a 2. Crafting I'll leave alone up until haul. I'm going to put at a 2 for everyone. And then both Willow and Lilaca are going to research and everyone is going to manage. Okay. All right, I think I'm done. Let me turn off scanning before I forget because that's not relevant either. Whew, exciting. Okay, so our fridge is getting roofed in. Awesome. Let's go ahead and set up our growing zones. Okay, so I set these up. We have some rice, some cotton, some corn, and some hay grass. Now, normally I would also queue up some heel roots, but apparently we need to learn herbalism for that. So yeah, when I typed in heel root here, looks like herbalism is what's keeping us from building or growing heel roots and strawberries. That's fine, we'll research that later. So these I have just turned off. And now that the fridge is done, we're going to go ahead and roof in our miscellaneous stockpile room here. Oh yeah, you can see here soaking wet plus 5. So they do like to be in the rain. That's kind of cool. Okay, Saffron is finishing up this stockpile room. Now what I'm thinking of doing is deconstructing all of this. Maybe we'll go ahead and keep this table and move it over to where I wanted to build our dining room. I mean, why not? You know, it's already built for us. So let's reinstall that right here in the middle of the room, kind of. That should work, and then we'll have to build our own stools or chairs, unless there are chairs around here somewhere. Doesn't look like it. That's okay. So let's go ahead and get all of this deconstructed. And that's going to give us some granite that we can work with, which is going to be nice. Okay, and I'm also going to go ahead and remove these floors, just again for those resources. It's gonna be really helpful. Okay, so we got our table over here. Let's go ahead and build some chairs around it. So again, I'm not quite used to the new early times mod, but I guess we already have these stools researched, so that's nice. Let's go ahead and just build like 3 around this table. So I wonder what else is researched already. I'll have to check this out between episodes. Okay, we're getting a lot of stuff done already, so let's go ahead and set up stone cutting table. We'll put right in the middle of our Miscellaneous stockpile room. Let's put in a light. Go ahead and put in the magic torch. And I also think we should start on our research. Now I'm going to choose the Dryad research spot for this because it's totally free. We just have to make sure that it is on regular ground here. And then let's see, what should our first research project be? I think I'm going to beeline toward smoked foods, and this is going to give us access to the dried meats and dried berries so that we can keep food and meat around longer without it expiring. And then possibly after that, I'm going to queue up the heal root because I do feel a little uncomfortable that we don't have that yet. So let me set that up afterward. And I am getting the notification that we are low on food, so I think now is a good time to start on our kitchen. Let me turn the plan back on. Just set this up real quick. And we need a door. Let's put it right there in the middle. And sure, right in the middle of our garden here, that works. And into the butcher room, I don't care. Let's see, what can we cook with? Since I'm a little new to this. Looks like we're gonna have to cook with a regular old campfire. That's fine. Okay, let's see here. What can we make here? Oh, all right, let's go ahead and cook simple meal. I'll do 4 per colonist and then unpause at 2 per colonist. And then I'll replace this simple meal with something that will last in our fridge, not a fridge. Which I think we're going to unlock with our research soon enough. So this simple meal is not going to really last us too long, but it is good for now. And it looks like Saffron is completely idle. That's great. What should we have her do? Oh, definitely finish up this stonecutter's table. What do we need for that? Hand tools. Okay, and then how do we make the hand tools? This is totally different than what I'm used to. Maybe at the crafting spot. Put that here. Yes, hand tools. Excellent. How much do we need? We need 2. So I'll just queue up 2 here. We'll need raw resources. What does that mean? I guess literally anything. Don't make it out of don't make it out of a lot of these things. No gemstones, no crystal seeds. Here, I'm gonna clear all and then just say you can make it out of wood and steel and pile of dirt, sure. Ironwood is good. And I think that's it. Coal, sure. And bamboo if we have any. Okay. All right, Saffron, are you set to crafting? I think you should be, right? Yeah. Put you up at a 2. You can get those hand tools done. Okay, Mad Squirrel, where you at? Oh, you're right there. You're so close. Okay, everyone, draft up. How do we want to approach this? Just run down here, I guess, for now. And get him! Run, Willow! Run! Ooh, got him. Okay, cool. So we should set up a stockpile for our meat. Let's see here. Dumping stockpile zone. I guess just right here for now is fine. Clear all. I just want animal corpses, not rotten, and then we'll need a butcher spot. So let's see here. I think that should just be a spot, right? Stone cutting spot. No. Under production. What about miscellaneous? Oh, I see. Okay. Wow, that took way too long to figure out. Okay, so I just have to click this crafting spot and it will queue up or show a drop down for all of these. That's pretty cool. Okay, so we definitely need a butcher spot. I'll put here, I guess, for now. What else do we have? Brewing, art, sculpting, researching spot would have been nice. Tailoring. Okay. All right, well, that's good to know. Okay, wow, this hand tool is taking forever to make. And we need 2 of them just for our stone cutting table. So wait, do we have a stone cutting spot? We do, stone cutter spot. Let's do that instead. So this is low priority. Let me put crafting down to 3. You don't have to do this anymore. Let's set up stone cutting. So what do we have on the map here? We have granite, which is awesome. I'll just stick with granite for now. So make granite blocks, do until we have 300. Wow, we got a lot of granite already from whatever we deconstructed over here. That's great. So in that case, let's turn on our plans here and get started on our defenses. This is awesome. Okay, so make it, yeah, granite wall. Let's go ahead and just fill in what we can here. And then these are made out of embrasures. Oh, I should also set up a fishing zone before I forget. Well, I already did forget. But yeah, here we go. So this is just going to, yeah, fish up very basic stuff. And that's only if they even get to a third on their work priorities. All right, since it looks like we'll be here for a while, Saffron thinks we should give our faction a name. What should we be called? Well, our faction is going to be called Dryads Regrown. Now, our settlement, I don't know. How about something... So before it was Glen of Lilies, which I thought was really cute. Maybe now we can do something like Green River something. I don't know. That sounds fine. Who cares? All right. And with that, I think we're going to end this first episode. So it's going to be a learning experience for me since I got rid of medieval times. I don't have that fancy just medieval section here. We're gonna have to research so much more than we needed to before, but it's exciting. It's new and different. And I'm looking forward to learning this new mod. So fingers crossed we don't break the game again this time, but I think I figured out the culprits. Yeah, so let me know what you guys think. And I will talk to you later.